welcome to MeowMix, the Carolina Panthers podcast. My name is Steven,
My name is Jerry.
and we are here to talk the Carolina Panthers going to Baltimore to face the Baltimore Ravens, Week 11. Jerry, Week 11. It is Week 11 in this NFL season. It's either going by really fast or dragging by so slowly, and we're just counting down days until it's over.
I
But I
feel
think
like I'm
it's
on the.
going by fast for me.
I
It's
think
like
it's
it
going by.
always goes by so fast.
It's going by fast, but I also feel like this is the third season that we've had this season. Like the first the Matt
Oh, yeah.
Rule, dread. Then oh crap, Steve Wilkes took over. We got stomped out. Okay, yeah. Then we got some pep in our step, and then we went down, and then we're back up. And
Mm-hmm. This has been one of those seasons where I don't know what to expect from the Panthers in this game. I
espe-
assume that they're probably going to lose because they don't beat good teams, but I have no idea.
I have no idea.
Would it shock me if they beat the Ravens? No, it wouldn't shock me.
If all of a sudden, some reason our defense is able to contain Lamar Jackson, run the ball efficiently, even though they have a great run defense, pull off a win, I would not be shocked either. It's crazy.
Yeah,
And could I also see us getting beat by 20, 30 points? I could see that too.
Would not shock me either. Neither of those outcomes would shock me. I could see Baker lighting it up, and all of a sudden he looks like the guy that we hoped he would be.
Yeah.
Who knows? But we're going to talk about that here in a few minutes. But first, there's a little bit of business to get to. As you know, if you're a long-time watcher or even a short-time watcher, we did recently hit 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. Very excited about that.
Yes.
We had a little contest that we've been kind of bad at telling you guys about, but
we've said it on the podcast. We didn't mention it on Facebook and everything or Twitter and all that, all the social media. We were probably bad on that.
We could have done a little better, but we had plenty of entries. We had plenty of entries for our swag bag giveaway for our 1,000 subscriber contest, and Jerry and I are going to announce the winner.
Yes.
We had a random number generator choose a random number. Jerry assigned all of the people numbers before we did the random generator. So this is all legit.
I put them in a spreadsheet. Steven did the random generator, so he didn't even know what my spreadsheet said.
True. A massive cash prize here. Just kidding.
Don't get anybody's hopes up that or feelings hurt that we gave away money because we didn't. We don't get paid really.
Here we go.
Our advertisements pay for a couple David Busters and some swag. That's about all we do occasionally.
That's about it. Yeah, we make about $11 a month on this show. So. But we're dipping into the kitty. We're gonna send out some swag to
Andrew C.
C. I believe in Texas, a Texas Panthers fan.
Yeah, because I believe he actually messaged us before. We sent him out some stickers before for his message. So
double dipping this guy.
Yeah.
Congrats to Andrew. We love you guys. Andrew, longtime listener. We definitely appreciate him sticking with us. He's very much deserving. A lot of you guys are deserving, but he happened to win the number. The number 2 of thousands of entries. Number 2, got it. Congrats, Andrew.
And if you did enter and you still want some stickers or something, just send us your address and I'll send out some stickers to you guys. No one actually sent in their address to start off with, so I was like, oh, well, I guess I'll have to let them know that, send us their address and I'll send you stickers.
If you guys want stuff, you got to send us your address. Always send your address. That's what I do. And anytime I complain to a restaurant or something, I always send my address just in case they want to send me some gift cards or something. And many times they do. So that's pro tip for you guys. All right. Congrats, Andrew. Please like and subscribe on YouTube. We're still, we'll have another giveaway when we hit 1,500 subscribers. And, we'll just keep doing it as we hit milestones. So. Definitely appreciate all of you guys for listening and subscribing and liking the podcast and the YouTube channel. So, all right. Before we get into the preview, we're going to look at a little bit of news.
Yes. Moving on some very unfortunate news. Dante Jackson was placed on IR he has that another injury and is gonna miss at least 4 games. Just unfortunately, he hasn't even had the greatest season, but when he's out, the defense gets so much worse. I
Yeah, I
mean,
mean, speaking of things that don't shock you, Dante
yeah,
Jackson on IR.
it stinks because again, he wasn't having the greatest year, but again, with J.C. Horn on the other side, who's really locking down his side.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, I mean, this is another big hit because CJ hasn't been stepping up. Something that I think was a strength at the beginning of the season. I thought our secondary was going to be really good. Unfortunately, it's still weak. J.C. Horn and then Dante's not that hasn't solidified his spot.
Yeah, I mean, well, this is going to give Keith Taylor, Tay Hayes, those guys are going to get an opportunity.
Yeah,
Keith Taylor, I thought, has looked good in the limited action that he's gotten so far this season. So I'm hoping to see him take a step. Tay Hayes, of course, preseason favorite of ours, App State guy. So I hope that he's going to get a little bit of run as well. So that's next man up, as it
yeah,
always is. And this was one of the things, as you mentioned, we thought was a strength coming into the season was our depth at corner. So we're gonna see. We're gonna
yeah,
see if we were right, and if we weren't right, then you know what? We're not really in any worse place. I mean, we're 3 and
yeah.
7. What do we got?
we're gonna start being like, okay, so corner's another need.
Yeah, right. Add it to the list. But Dante Jackson did get hurt on the Panthers turf, and it has sort of brought up this conversation that apparently the Panthers players have been having with David Tepper for a while.
Yeah, a lot of players on Twitter have been talking about trying to get David Tepper to bring back the grass. They
Mm-hmm.
don't like the turf. The turf seems to cause more injuries. Just point blank.
Yeah.
And it seems very truthful. I think this is the third or like quarterbacks. I think everybody's had an ankle sprain. Liz Frank,
Yeah.
Matt Corral had a Liz Frank. Uh, Sam Darnold and PJ Walker ankle sprains, and I think
Mm-hmm.
Baker had an ankle sprain at one point too, didn't he?
Yeah, he was in a boot. So yeah, it's been, and of course, we're not just talking quarterbacks, but there's been a
Yeah,
lot of injuries on this turf. LaMelo Ball, he got hurt the other day just because of the turf. I
wrong,
mean,
wrong sport, wrong sport.
oh,
Uh,
oh, oh. He did get
uh,
hurt. Yeah, I'm very sad. But yeah, I mean, I would be thrilled if David Tepper would bring the grass back.
it's
We hated the turf. I understand I guess, from a soccer standpoint, but they play on grass
that
in other
he
stadiums.
he he had to bring in grass because Chelsea wouldn't play on
Yeah,
good turf.
right, right.
So I
If that
mean,
doesn't tell you what you need to know right there, that one of the Premier League teams doesn't want to play on turf, you know,
refused.
why would Charlotte FC want to play on turf?
Yeah.
Why would your NFL team that you spent $2.5 billion on want to play on turf?
Yes, it's going to
Put
cost him
grass
more.
back in.
It's going to cost him more money. But here's my thought too: what if he signed Deshaun Watson? As much as I'm glad we did it,
Mm-hmm.
what if he signed Deshaun Watson? He gets out there and he gets a high ankle sprain. He's out 6 games.
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking about a guy you guaranteed two, and this is all hypothetical, but you guaranteed $200 million or whatever insane amount of money you gave him, and he's missing half the season because you're not willing to keep up with grass, resodding it, figuring
Yeah, give
something
some
out
people
to put.
jobs, right? Give some local guys jobs to keep that field up.
Why not create some sort of like platform that if it because it seems like he's very gun ho on this concert thing. I don't really care about Aerosmith or Taylor Swift or whoever else is coming
Well,
to the
first of all,
stadium.
Taylor Swift is amazing, so let's just clear that up. We love Taylor Swift.
And no issues with either of those bands and people, but I'm just saying I don't care. I would prefer our players to be healthy
Yes.
and
Yeah, we
come up
could
with
figure
some
out the
sort of
concert thing.
yeah, like
It's not a big deal. I mean, I
so
know that he brought music to Charlotte. We never had it before, so it's been nice, right?
yeah.
But they do it at the Super Bowl. Well, the Super Bowl is usually played on turf or some sort of turf hybrid, but still, concerts happen at stadiums all the time.
Yeah,
You don't have to have turf. yes, it's a little cheaper. You don't have to do it.
Correct. I do want to read a couple statements from some
Sure.
players about this issue. This is from Shaq Thompson. It's probably going to take all of us to stop going to practice until we get grass.
No.
I mean, that makes
A
they
strike?
make it up. Yeah, I mean, they make enough money off us to maintain grass. I hate to say this, but with our last owner, Jerry Richardson, he had grass. Listen to your players. We want to play on grass. So
That's
that's a
strong.
that's very strong from Shaq Thompson. Now, Tommy Trimble also spoke to a little bit more,
Diplomatic.
diplomatic. I think Tepper does really care about the players. He and his wife are advocates for keeping us safe. So I think he's in our corner. He's not against us. I hope everything works out and we get the results that we want. So at least Trimble's tried to say that, hey, he does advocate for us for our safety, but we want grass. Come on.
Yeah. He's like my son who wants a sucker saying, I mean, you love me, right? You want the best for me. You want me to be happy. Yeah, that's the Trimble method right there. Trimble, get a PFF grade over 50 before you really start asking for things.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I mean, bottom line, turf sucks. Nobody likes it. Players hate it. Fans don't like it because the players get hurt. Nobody gives a crap if it saves David Tepper a couple $10,000 a year or whatever. Nobody gives a shit. Like honestly,
I,
bring the grass back.
again, your player's health, in my opinion, is worth way
Yes.
more than the $1 million. I mean, highballing $1 million a season that it would take to upkeep, swap out the grass if you have a concert or something. You're probably making that money on the concert, anyways.
It's an open air stadium. We have good weather here. It's not like Seattle where it's raining all the time. It's always overcast and it's harder to maintain a field like that. We have good weather here in Charlotte. He said it himself, David Tepper, when he talked about maybe wanting to build a stadium with a roof. He's like, why would I want to do that? It's beautiful here. The weather's nice all the time. Like, why would I put a roof on? Well, why would you put turf in? It's the same concept.
And depending on your weather, there's different grasses that grow. I mean,
Yeah.
people have talked about, oh, you can't grow grass in certain areas. Well, Charlotte's a great place to grow
You can grow
multiple
any kind of
grasses.
grass.
But I mean, I was watching Welcome to Wrexham. They have it in Wales, and Wales is horrible weather.
Yeah. And they're underwater all the time. Uh,
Exactly.
you know,
And
it's
cold.
yeah. You got to watch out for those Japanese always trying to take them out. Um, okay, so um, all right. Well, speaking of injuries at quarterbacks, you mentioned PJ Walker not going to play this week due to a high ankle sprain suffered on that field. Baker Mayfield going to be back in the starting saddle. Jerry, if you had to put a number on Baker Mayfield starts the rest of the season, okay, this is week 11. We still have our bye, so we have 6 games left, I think. Seven.
I think, yeah, this will be.
We're 3-7. We got 7 games left. Okay, so over under 3.5 starts for Baker Mayfield the rest of the season.
I'm gonna go over because I'm trying to be positive, and I think he'll do better this week with this new scheme, which I'll get into this later on. But I
Mm-hmm.
think this re-energized offensive line with forcing to run the ball, Baker Mayfield plays better with a play action. I don't understand why they forced the RPOs so much at the beginning instead of
Mm-hmm.
just doing run, play action. Give him some time. And since Wilkes has been here, or the main guy, he has
Mm-hmm.
emphasized that. And I think that will benefit Baker Mayfield. I'm hoping. I'm trying to be positive about it.
Yeah, I mean, there is a benefit for Baker Mayfield to play less than 70% of the snaps. We've talked about it. The pick that we gave Cleveland is a 5th-round pick right now. If Baker plays more than 70% of the snaps for the season, it becomes a 4th-round pick. So that is something that I'm sure
Oh,
someone
I'm
is
sure.
keeping an eye on. You know, if we gets down to week 15 and we're 3-12 or what, 3-6. I don't know what I don't do the math, but we haven't won any more games. Then it's quite likely that you will not see Baker Mayfield anymore this season, and you'll see Sam Darnold.
Oh, absolutely. That 70%
So
is definitely going to hit the under unless we're in the playoff race, in my opinion.
I would agree. All right, well, let's move on to talk about last week just one more time. We're going to look at the PFF grades, top 5, bottom 5 for offense and defense. We'll start with the offense. Number 1. It's been a while since we've seen this guy at number 1 on the PFF grades. DJ Moore.
Yeah.
77.8, which doesn't seem super high for your number 1 PFF grade. Normally we see a guy in the 80s. But hey, he was up there, and his running mate, Terrace Marshall Jr., right there beside him, Laviska Shenault, number 3. So all 3 wide receivers, 1, 2, and 3 on the PFF grades. And then Bradley Bozeman and Deontay Foreman. So, I mean, I thought all those guys had pretty good games.
Yeah, I did too. Especially for the
I
rain.
would agree. Yeah.
I mean, they're
right.
basically what PFF was saying is those receivers were getting open when they were given a chance to run the routes.
Yeah.
I mean, 18 routes for DJ and Terrace and only 10 for Shenault.
Right. But Shenault did well with his.
Yeah, no, he's up there, and rightfully so.
Yeah. Bottom 5 on offense, going to be PJ Walker at 52.7 grade. Ike Ekwonu making a rare appearance in the bottom 5 with a 51.3. Had a really good pass blocking grade of almost 80, but the run blocking grade was just pretty poor. And I think he had some penalties and stuff as well. So those
and 47 runs to 19 pass, so it skews.
Yeah. Cam Irving down there. And then, of course, the typical guys rounding out the bottom are tight ends, Tommy Tremble and Ian Thomas, 47.6 and 41.6, respectively. So Ian Thomas, once again, proving that he is not worth anywhere close to the contract that he was given.
I mean, the tight end position is definitely something that they'll have to look at in the offseason.
So. I think. Ben McAdoo again, was it today or yesterday? Talking about how Ian Thomas is pound for pound one of the best blockers he's ever seen. Well, Ian Thomas is a pretty good pass blocker. I would say he's slightly above average. Run blocker, he's terrible. He's a bad run blocker. And tight end, maybe not that big of a deal. But gosh, I don't care. I don't care. I want somebody that can go out and catch the ball. We've got offensive linemen. We've got Tommy Tremble, who we drafted because he was supposedly the best blocking tight end in college football. I don't need 2 blocking tight ends. I need 1 tight end that can catch the damn ball.
Yeah. Make a difference. I mean, and I'm not looking for George Kittle. I'm not looking for Travis Kelce.
I'd love to have one of those guys.
Well, no, yeah, I would
want somebody that's, 80% of what Greg Olsen was.
Yeah, a guy who gets hit in the hands with the ball catches it. I think between the 2 of them, they've had like 10 to 15 drops this year. On key third downs too. It's not just.
Yeah. It's infuriating every week when I watch these guys. All right, let's move over to the defense. We'll get back on the happy side here. We'll start the top 5. We got Shaq Thompson, number 1. Had a great game, 85.3.
Man, if Shaq Thompson's tackle grade is high, he has a great game.
Yeah, pretty much.
I don't understand how he has such bad tackle games, but he had a good tackle game, especially in the rain. Had a great game.
Look, I mean, that's Shaq Thompson. He's inconsistent. That's why he has the traits and the skills to be an elite linebacker, but he's just inconsistent. It's not going to happen, unfortunately. His running mate, Corey Littleton, and his running mate, Frankie Louvu. So we got 3 wide receivers on offense, 3 linebackers on defense as the top 3 on each side. Now, Corey Littleton only 20 snaps, 19 snaps, but still, he did well when he was out there. Derek Brown, once again, in the top 5, and then Marquise Haynes with those 2 sacks there at the end of the game, really sealing the deal. Bottom 5, J.C. Horn. J.C. Horn starting the bottom 5 here.
Yeah, and he
We
had a
noticed
low.
that it didn't seem like he had a great game.
Yeah, I said that I've kept seeing him
Yeah.
getting. I don't understand their numbers when they say he's only given up 20 yards receiving. Because I've seen him give up plays. And I'm not trying to knock him. He's our best corner, and he does play really well. It's just, I am seeing him give up plays.
Well, I mean, yeah, and usually when we see those numbers, it's from PFF. So they've got some sort of metric where they're saying, well, it wasn't really J.C. Horn's fault that those yards were given up. But when we watch it, we're like, well, J.C. Horn probably could have not allowed those yards to be given up.
Yeah,
He's so good. So I don't know. I mean, I agree with you, but speaking of J.C. Horn, Dante Jackson and C.J. Henderson and Keith Taylor all right behind him in the bottom five. So the pass or the corner room not great from a PFF perspective on Thursday. And then you got Brian Burns and Yetur Gross-Matos, our two rushers, the guys anchoring either side of the defensive
yeah.
line, the bottom two.
Yeah, they need to
Not
find Burns a running mate because that's
yeah.
going to be very important in the
I
future.
mean, Burns is going to get double teamed. He's going all the everybody knows in the league that
Yeah,
nothing on that other side. That's probably why Marquise Haynes was able to get free. I mean, Marquise Haynes played 25 snaps to 42 for Gross Matos. I need to see that flip this game.
I do too.
I need to see Haynes out there
E-
way more.
Especially with Lamar.
Yeah,
Etor is going to get
we need
blown by. At
speed.
least Marquise Haynes stands a chance to maybe not catch him, but get a good angle on him
Yeah,
and
just
get to
make
him.
him push him out of bounds.
Yeah.
That should be
Again,
your goal.
you
Just don't
you
let the
can't catch
explosive plays happen.
Lamar, but you could.
Yeah. What did Dan Patrick used to say? You can't stop him. You can only hope to contain him.
I mean,
That's
Brian
what we
Burns
need to do.
mentioned him that he was like, "I'm fast, but have you seen that guy?"
Oh
Talking
yeah,
about Lamar.
yeah, yeah. All right. Any other final thoughts on the PFF grades before we take a quick break?
No, man, the secondary, it's just really disappointed me this year, and I'm hoping somebody stands out with Dante out.
As bad as it looks, I mean, they gave 15 points last week.
Yeah,
You know,
I mean, it
even
helps
in the Matt
Marcus.
Rule era, that probably would have been a win.
I mean, with Marcus Mariota like lobbing those up,
Yeah.
I am glad we didn't face a more confident quarterback the way the secondary.
Yeah. I mean, based on the PFF grades, it would seem the linebackers really shut down the middle of the field and kind of
Yeah,
kept things in control. So, all right, well, let's take a quick break and we'll be back in a moment. CBDX.com.
CBDX for all your CBD needs: gummies, flour, vapes, other things that I don't even know about. CBDX.com. I use the gummies. There it is. Helps you
These
sleep.
are the premium ones.
Do
They're
not.
actually delicious. Like if they weren't full of THC, I would probably just eat this whole thing in one sitting. But that would be a bad idea. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Yeah, it's
One
the real
one
deal.
is good enough for most people to have the desired effect.
Yes. And don't try to drive.
Don't operate heavy machinery, the standard disclaimers. CBDX.com promo code Meow will get you 20% off and free
And
shipping
appreciate.
in, I believe, the continental United States. Um, check them out, CBDX.com.
All right. And we are back and gonna go straight to the game trivia.
Yay. Now, Jerry, do you have 5 questions for me this week?
I do not.
Okay.
So I'll do the first one, which is simple. How many games have Baltimore and Carolina played against each other? Not as the Cleveland Browns. They technically changed names at
Oh
Baltimore,
man,
became
well
a whole
that's
new
what I was gonna
franchise.
base it on. Now I'm gonna get it wrong. Um, you love this question. I'm gonna
Well,
say
because I
no.
keep
Wait,
getting these ASC teams that have very little games.
so you're saying in the entire when did the Baltimore Ravens become the Baltimore Ravens? Was that before we were a franchise?
No, it was after.
Okay.
Um,
It's like late 90s, right?
yeah,
I
lately.
mean, yeah, okay. Um, I'm gonna say, let's see, last year it was what, 6 games against whatever team it was we played last time. So I'm gonna say 8. We played the Baltimore Ravens 8 times.
It is 6 games again.
Oh man, why did I try to get slick? I should have just said 6.
AFC
Obviously, we
North
never been
teams,
in the
it's gonna
Super Bowl.
always
When was
probably
it when
be
we played them?
6.
Yeah, yeah. Oh well. Well, sometimes there's reorgs. Okay, so what's our record against them? I assume is going to be your next question.
No, it's not. We are 4-2 against the
Okay.
Ravens.
Okay.
Now,
Oh, that's what I was going to say.
now Baltimore and Carolina have both had stellar run teams. It pretty much
Mm-hmm.
that's their consistency. Play
Mm-hmm.
defense, run the ball. Now, in this 6 games, how many players went above 100 yards rushing?
Oh my gosh. 5.
Uno! Only one. I was
Oh
kind of
wow.
surprised.
Jonathan Stewart.
You're not gonna get this name. I'm gonna
Okay.
go ahead and tell you no. I'll tell you the year it was done.
Okay.
2010.
Was it a Panther?
It was a Panther.
Was it Nick Goings?
Mike Goodson
Oh,
for
Mike Goodson.
120 yards.
I
22
always
carries,
liked Mike
120
Goodson.
yards. Brian St. Pierre started that game. The
Oh,
Panthers got their butt whooped, but
I remember that game. I remember the Brian St. Pierre game. That was
so
the year I think we had Testaverde in there. We had all
hmm
kinds of guys playing
I
quarterback
was
that
really
year.
hoping Testaverde started this game because he started the first game as a Baltimore Raven. So if he started this game,
Uh,
I was going to ask which quarterback started for both teams, but unfortunately it was St. Pierre.
well, you could have said in that year, but that's okay. Yeah, that's interesting. Mike Goodson. That's a name I haven't heard in a long time.
I remember watching
Long
a
time.
YouTube video for Mike Goodson when we drafted him, and it was thunderstruck, and dude was lightning, man. If
He
you
was
have some
fun. He
free
was fun to watch.
If you have some free time, watch some highlights of Mike Goodson, especially in college. Dude was fast.
Yeah, he was legit.
Yeah, couldn't put it
Kind
to
of a
the
smaller
NFL.
guy. Yeah,
Yeah,
but I always liked him. All right. Well, let's get over to the injury reports here. Assuming that was your last trivia question.
yeah, that's it.
Okay.
I don't want
Okay.
to keep it too long.
Okay. Understood. We have different views when it comes to trivia. All right. We're gonna start with the Panthers injury report here. It's not a great one. We're going to start off with Justin Burris with an illness/concussion. Man, sick and concussed. DNPs both Wednesday and Thursday. Miles Hartsfield, DNPs. Frankie Louvu, DNP Wednesday, but a full practice today, Thursday. So he should, and with an illness, so he should be good to go.
That illness is sticking
Ionitis.
around from last week, man, and the week
Yeah,
before.
well,
It's
we're not done with it yet. Ionitis with a calf, DNP yesterday and
oh,
today. Davion Nixon, illness, DNP yesterday and today. Ricci with a neck. Limited practice Wednesday, but full practice today, so trending in the right direction. I like Ricci. I think he's probably our best overall tight end. Um, Sullivan probably the best receiving tight end, but Taylor Moton, rest, non-injury related DNP today. PJ Walker on IR, didn't practice, obviously. JC Horn with a foot, limited practice yesterday, full practice today. You like to see it. And Marquand McCall with an illness, DNP today. So something's going around Bank of America Stadium there. I blame the turf. The turf
for the
holds
illness
in the bacteria, the
and the
virus.
germs.
Yeah, I mean grass, just gets rid of it. So. All right. For the Ravens, we've got Mark Andrews. That would be big if he misses the game. Tight end with a knee, limited practice both yesterday and today. Amar Davis, the cornerback, limited practice yesterday, did not practice today, so trending in the wrong direction. Calais Campbell, rest yesterday. He's good to go today. Gus Edwards, hamstring, limited practice both yesterday and today. Seems like he's trending in the right direction from what I read earlier. So their running back, they're always injured, but they always seem to have a good running game. Justin Houston, DNP yesterday, not on the list today. Marcus Peters, the same. Jason Pierre-Paul on the list, but full practice yesterday and today. And then Ronnie Stanley, excuse me, rest yesterday, not on the report today. So not a bad injury report for the Ravens, but if Mark
Yeah,
Andrews is out, I think that could be a big deal. He's
yeah,
great.
he really
Uh,
is, and
yeah,
he helps them out so much. And you said the running game, and there's a reason why.
yeah, yeah.
So
Panthers are 13-point underdogs in this game, which is high, honestly, with the over-under being 41.5. So Vegas is not expecting the Panthers to score a lot of points in this game. Not at all. Uh, I I feel like that number might be too high. That over
it's
the underdog thing, the 13 points. I feel like that's too high.
I agree, but Vegas is usually on the money on this stuff. But
Yeah, I know. There's a reason they do what they do. There's a reason they make so much money. All right, well, let's get into some of the keys to the game here, Jerry. I'll let you kick it off.
oh, sorry, I was trying to see how many points the Baltimore Ravens give up. The first key point of the game, as anybody who plays the Ravens, try to contain Lamar Jackson. You're not going to stop him completely. He can beat you with his legs. He can beat you with his arm. You have to contain him. Uh, even Brian Burns wasn't talking about trying to sack him or trying to spy him. He said, we need to keep him in a phone booth. We need our rushers to get to him, but contain him. He has been passing well. He completes 62% of his passes, 60 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. So he is not being able to throw the ball well. It's just
Yeah.
to choose your poison, and the poison you'd prefer is him passing in a pocket.
Yeah, I mean he's dynamic in the run game. That's one of the reasons why Baltimore has such a great run game is you have to account for him. I mean, this is the same.
Yeah,
We saw it for 10 years with the Panthers with Cam. When you have to account as a defense for the running quarterback, everybody is better on the
yeah,
offense. It's just the way it is. And Lamar Jackson's the best in the game right now at running.
yeah.
I mean, you could argue him or Josh Allen, maybe they do it differently, but I'd put my money on Lamar.
I think Lamar is. He's faster. He's more nimble. I mean,
Yeah.
I like Josh Allen. I think Josh Allen is more comparable to Cam than Lamar
Yeah,
Jackson
for
is, just
sure. I
because of
mean,
the
yeah.
style of running.
Jackson's more Vic and Allen's more Cam,
Yeah,
but
but
Lamar
Jackson has
can
an arm
he's
that's
got the
more
arm.
accurate.
Yeah. Yeah. Vic had a hell of an arm, but yeah,
Not
I
accurate.
think Vic relied on his running more than and didn't work on his passing as much. I think Lamar is just great at both. Yeah, there's a lot of people that say Lamar could be the Panthers' next quarterback. If he
And
doesn't
I
get
would
that contract worked out with Baltimore, you could see David Tepper ponying up.
I could see him ponying up, but I can't see Baltimore being that dumb. It could
Well, I
happen.
guess there's
Don't get
two
me
ways to
wrong.
look at it. You know, you got a running quarterback. They have a shelf life. They just
Yeah,
do. You know, Lamar Jackson, how old is he? Was 26, 27? By the way,
I think
Baltimore gives up 21.8 points per game.
Oh, okay. That's less than or more than I thought.
Yeah, Lamar is 25. He's going to be 26 January 7th. So, I mean, I think he's still got a good 5-year contract in him where he can still play at a really high level,
Oh
barring
yeah,
injuries, you know,
yeah,
which again, injuries are more of a thing with a running quarterback. So, next key of the game here is going to be establish the run for the Panthers. Last few weeks, we've been averaging 146 yards per game.
yeah,
I think that since Wilkes took over, basically.
yeah. I didn't consider the first game because that was a weird game when he first
Yeah.
took over because Christian
Well, he had
McCaffrey
like
was on his
4
way
days or
out.
something. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I took since I think it was the Rams game. The last 5 games they have been
Yeah.
churning out running
Lights out.
yards.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And Deontay Foreman's been at the
minus
head of the pack.
in my Cincinnati game where they did 80 yards. So I mean,
Yeah.
that's it.
Yeah. The Ravens, however, they don't give up a lot of yards. Only 92 yards per game given up as a defense. That's third in the NFL. So it's going to be strength versus strength. Who's
Yeah.
gonna who's gonna be stronger? Uh, that might be why Vegas says that we're 13-point underdogs, because if we can't run, then we're gonna have to rely on the pass, and that's a problem
And
eventually.
I think even establishing the run, even if it's not working right away, you got to stick with it. You got to give Baker the play action. He his numbers dramatically get better with the play action. Unfortunately, the beginning of the season they did not want to do that. I was shocked. I mean, we were rushing 13 times a game, and the games were close. It was ridiculous. I like that Wilkes will continue to run the ball even if it's not, I'm using quotes, working, because it
Yeah.
does open up the pass. It opens up the ball deep field. You could run that play action to hold those linebackers and safeties for a split second to get DJ, Terrace Marshall, and stuff. That being said, please, please throw the ball deeper than occasionally 5 yards down the field. You got to try to stretch the field. 10 screen type of passes to Chenault the same play. Come on.
Yeah, I'd like to see.
Sorry, that was a
Uh,
slipped
no,
in
that's okay.
there.
I mean, I'd love to see the offense evolve a little bit. I do love the run. They should keep the run in there, keep running as much as they are. But when you don't run, let's do something other than a screen pass. You know,
Yes,
let's chunk it
yes.
downfield. Baker's got a strong arm. He can get the ball downfield. You
Let's
know,
have our receivers run a couple different routes. It doesn't have to be.
yeah, I'd love to see Chenault go downfield to
Yeah,
catch a ball.
maybe 6 to 10 yards. He could do like a little hook.
A deep throw for him. Yeah, 6 to 10 yards. He's going deep. Oh yeah, I mean, I can see. The more I think about it, when Cincinnati, put up 200 plus rushing yards on us, we lost by double digits. We got doubled up essentially. Um, I, there's a scenario where that happens again in this game,
Yeah,
where history repeats itself. I mean, I hope that Wilkes is. I mean, Wilkes is a defensive guy. Like, he should be able to devise a game plan here, assuming that we have the pieces to limit Lamar Jackson, to limit that running game. And like you said, force them one dimensional. I mean, that's what Bill Belichick has done his whole career. Is you take away the best thing that the other team does, make them do something else. That's what we need to see here.
yeah, absolutely.
All right, last key.
Win third down on both sides of the ball. The Panthers have been abysmal at this, and Baltimore, on the flip side, has been pretty good. On defense, they're only allowing 33% conversion, while the Panthers' offense only converts 28%. That's horrible.
I was gonna say 33% sounds
Horrible.
great. I'd love 33% right now. That's probably like 2 extra wins for us. Yeah,
uh,
Baltimore offensively, 45% conversion rate on third down. Panthers giving up 41. So, you know, again, a lot of these numbers aren't looking good for us.
I mean, you've got to stop their drive, and you've got to, you know, really focus. And the rush, they're really good about, they're 50-50 on their run to pass plays. You
Mm-hmm.
don't see that often in the current NFL. The Panthers are swaying back that way. At
Mm-hmm.
the beginning of the season, it was so lopsided. They're still technically passing more, but
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's the thing, is like, you have no idea what's coming at you with Baltimore. You just know that at any time Lamar Jackson could take off and go.
yeah, you have to
If the play
contain him,
breaks down, he's gone. Um, you're gonna have to
wrap him up.
spy. Yeah. Who are they gonna have spying? I mean, that
You
would Burns.
you have to
Are we
do
gonna see
Burns.
Burns in coverage a lot? Yeah.
I think you have to do Burns. I mean, he's the
Which
only
means we're
guy
not
that,
getting to the quarterback at all.
yeah. I mean, he's the only guy that has somewhat of speed to contain him.
Yeah.
I mean, again, he's not going to beat him in a foot race, but he could try to get an angle for a play to go 5 yards instead of 20, 30.
Have they said anything about Chin?
He's still on IR. He's able to come back. They can. but he has not yet. He is practicing, I
A
believe.
work in progress is what they're saying right now. So I know they were kind of hoping that he could be back this week, but I guess that's probably not going to happen. They could activate him all the way up to Sunday, but without any practice, it would be a surprise.
I think he is
Um,
practicing, isn't he?
he may be out there. Yeah, I don't know. He may be out there.
I
They
think
say
he
he's
has
working in
that
progress.
window where they're allowed to
Yeah,
practice, but you can't. He can't play, and they could do that. Maybe that's their plan: is wait till Saturday or Sunday last minute to activate him. Because right now we do have a roster spot open with Dante Jackson going on IR, I believe.
let's see. He's practiced twice since being designated a return last week. So I don't know if he's practicing this week or if he's practiced at all this week. Um, okay, limited practice as of yesterday. So yeah, he's doing a little bit here and there. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see it because I think if he's a guy, especially if he's healthy, he's a guy
Yeah.
that I would rather have him just to have Burns being able to rush the passer.
No,
I'd
no,
rather
no.
have Chin, you know,
I get
doing
what
his
you're
spine.
saying, but you never know how healthy it is coming back
Yeah,
from that injury.
right, right.
If he has that wind, because it
Does he have the wind? That's a good question. That's a good question. All right. Well, Baltimore's a good team,
very
and
good
if the
team.
Panthers win this game, it would be a statement win, I would say.
Yeah, I would say if the Panthers come out and win this game, I think if they even play really well and lose this game close, I think you're gonna build momentum.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, even in a loss, if you could play them well, because that's the thing is they play the NFC South great, but they everybody else they've kind of gotten their butts whooped.
Yeah.
Cincinnati and stuff like that, the Rams. So play them tough. Try to get. I mean, the Panthers aren't out of it, guys. The
I mean, in the
NFC
NFC
South
South,
is
yeah, NFC South, we're not out of it. It's honestly, like 7, 8 wins could do it. It really could. So
yeah.
the Bucks have a lot of stuff going on. The Saints are bad. Falcons are up and down. Anything could happen. So, all right, let's move on. Jerry, do we have a beer bet this week?
We have not discussed a beer bet. Anything you want to throw out there that I'll probably disagree with?
Um, let's see. Let's go with Baker Mayfield passing yards. Let's do 245
Mm.
passing yards. Over under. I'll let you choose over or under.
Well, I'm gonna go over because my bold predictions, the same bold predictions I've had 2 weeks in a row. So
Okay.
I'll do over.
All right. So Baker Mayfield over. I will take the under.
I think that's a better
And we
bet.
could still win the game if he's under.
Yeah, if we run the
If we
ball,
run a lot, yeah.
yeah,
Could throw for
absolutely.
240 and 3 touchdowns. All right. Well, bold predictions. You know what yours is. Let's hear it.
You know it. You love it. One time it's gonna happen. Terrence Marshall Jr. over 100 yards.
I hope it happens this game. I really do.
I do too because I kind of want to do
Starting.
something other bold predictions, but
I
I
mean, you
kind of
could do it.
committed.
You're not contractually
No,
obligated
I
to do
committed
it.
myself. I'm doing it.
Okay.
I'm riding
Okay.
this trade.
All
Unless
right.
he's hurt. Obviously, I'm not going to do it when he's hurt. But.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. All right. My bold prediction is we're going to see Laviska Chenault catch a ball 20 yards down the field in the air. I know. I know. Call me crazy.
You're crazy.
That's about as bold as it gets. Let's be honest. That's about as bold as it gets. All right, game predictions. I'll go first on this one. I think the Carolina Panthers are not going to take this one home. I would love to see it. I hope they do, but I think the Ravens are going to win this game. I'm going to go with 30-17 Ravens.
So 30-17 Ravens. Okay, unfortunately, I also am leaning towards the Ravens. I'm not going to be a big separator like that. I'm going to say 27-21 Ravens. I'm hoping it works out, that everything happens the way we want it to, but the Ravens are really good, guys. I
Yeah.
think they have Super Bowl potential, and our defense
Nobody.
just hasn't been playing as well as I hoped down the stretch, honestly.
No, honestly, they look worse since Wilkes has taken over and Phil Snow's gone. I mean,
Yeah,
I, Phil Snow probably was the best coach on the team, and he's not
yeah.
here anymore. As frustrated as we got from time to time with his defense, they performed. They really did. All right. Well, that's that. NFC South games. What do we have?
I've got to look that up. I was doing other things and forgot all about
All right.
looking
So
up
we
the
got
NFL's.
Bears at Falcons. Bears at the Falcons. The
Ooh,
3-7 Bears at the 4-6 Falcons. But Justin Fields has been looking quite a bit better the last few weeks.
yep,
He's figured something out. So that's going to be an interesting game. I'm going to go with the Bears. I think the Bears are going to win that one.
that'd be nice.
Let's see. Saints are playing the Rams. That's a home game. So, man, we're the only ones playing a good team this week.
Yeah, geez, what happened to the Rams?
Yeah,
Real
they
question.
just died. Like they fell apart. I'm gonna go with the Rams to win this one though. I mean I just don't think the Saints are good. So
I don't either. We mentioned this in our private chat, but Dennis Allen's not a good coach. He'll probably be one and done.
yeah, I would put money on him being one and done. I think him and Josh McDaniels, those are the guys that are gonna be one and done.
Well, supposedly they can't fire Josh McDaniels because they financially cannot. The Raiders are the only team without like a really rich owner,
Mm,
and they're paying Gruden still that huge contract.
that's true. Which was
So
another contract that when that was signed, I was like, "There's no way this guy makes it 10 years. There's no way this
no,
guy makes it 5 years." And I don't know how many years he made it, but it wasn't a lot.
I think like 3 or 4. I mean,
Yeah,
he got fired due to racist
I
emails and
remember.
sexist.
Yeah, I remember. But you know what? If he was a really good coach, he wouldn't have gotten fired. Let's be honest. Let's be honest. Buccaneers are on a bye, so those are the NFC South games this week. Jerry, any final thoughts?
Nope, that'll do it for me.
Okay.
All
Well
right, we
done.
want to thank everyone for listening. If you like the show, please let your friends know. Please follow us on Twitter at MeowMix Podcast. If you have any questions or comments, you can email us at mailbag@meowmixpodcast.com. If you leave us a 5-star review with a comment on Apple Podcasts, we'll read it on our show. Please like and subscribe on YouTube.
We will be back on Sunday afternoon to discuss the results of this game. Hopefully, that's a Carolina Panthers victory. But if it's a loss, we'll still be here. We might not be as happy, but we'll be here. Until then, everybody stay safe out there. Stay safe out there. Like, there's a lot of stuff going on. There's a lot of sicknesses out there. If you're near any turf, wear a mask. That's all. Until next time, stay safe out there and keep pounding.